Some things just go together. Wine and cheese, flowers in springtime, and yes, books and bottles. We pair your favorite author with your favorite drink. Your host of Books and Bottles, Benita Johnson.
Hi, and welcome to Books and Bottles. I'm your host, Benita Johnson. This is our show where we introduce you to your favorite author and we pair his or her work with your favorite wine or spirit. We're excited to be here tonight. If this is your first time with us, welcome. If you've been here before, we certainly appreciate you. Please share. Hit the share button at the bottom so we can invite others to have this wonderful experience that I'm about to present to you. So tonight, this show is personal. So if you follow me on Facebook, you saw that I was like up to the launch of this book, which I think was like, like April 12th or so. You kept seeing me kind of put it out there. I got this book coming. I want you to be the first to buy it. And so tonight I'm introducing you to some wonderful people. These are my co-authors, and I am their biggest fan. So first, we're going to bring on Tammy. Then we're going to bring on Robert, Ashvin, and Raj. Hello, family.
Hello.
Hey there.
Hey.
How's everybody?
Fantastic.
So first, I want to congratulate you all and me on a successful launch. The name of our book is Faith, Failure, Success, Volume 3, Turning Point. Congratulations, because what some people may not know is our book launched at number 1 on Amazon on launch day. So yay!
Yes.
We did that.
That's right.
That's what we need shirts that say we did that. I know. Right. Yeah, we know the folks. So how did everybody feel like to be a best-selling author?
Phenomenal for me. It's the second time I've been a part of a book, and it was great. It was actually great.
Great.
I'd say the same thing. I mean, this is I want to say this may be the third book, that I've been in that has become a bestseller. So it's
oh wow,
it's awesome.
That's why we have to get security when you come around.
Yeah, I personally can't believe it myself.
Is this anybody's first book?
Mine.
Oh, Tammy. Yeah. Okay. So how did you feel? Oh, and Ashvin, this had to be like a big deal for you. The first time you put your story out there, and here we are.
Yeah, it was, for me, it was huge. When I saw that number 1, first and foremost, just blessed and honored to be a part of this book. And then when I finally was like, wow, I can really say that I'm an author. And then to have it be number 1 on Amazon like that, I was like, whoa, check it out. I was so excited. So,
okay. Yeah. So I'm going to ask the first question to Ashvin. So when you were invited to be a part of this book, this journey, this turning point, how was the process of coming up with what you wanted to share?
The process wasn't that hard at all. I share the story a lot. Every year, my story about having cancer and having that turning point in my life of beating cancer, coming out of my comfort zone, not being ready for anything, and then having to deal with it. So I tell that story every year on the anniversary of my cancer diagnosis, just to give people some inspiration that, hey, you're not alone, that you can come away better than when you started. Cancer's not the end of the world for you, that you can have a better life, even better life afterwards. And so I tell that story all the time. And so for me, it was just kind of making it more concise and putting it in words. And for me, I was just very much touched that it went number 1. Because I've been asked to tell my story many, many times, and I've always said no. Like, who wants to read my story? No one wants to read my story. But to see that it went number 1 on opening day, I was like, wow, I should have done this a long time ago.
That's amazing.
Touched so many more lives back then.
Yeah.
So Tammy, your contribution was very personal as well. Did you find that even more of a healing process, or how was your process in sharing?
Well, so a lot of it definitely was a healing process. Actually, I tell my story a lot, but writing it was definitely a healing process because I had to go back to some, dark moments that nobody likes to go back to. But to know where God has gotten me through that to a strength and to be able to share just even if just somebody hears that little bit of hope that they can get through a struggle and get to a strength. So for me, it was very healing. But just to get the feedback from people, I just had a friend message me yesterday, just said, I just read your story again. So that to me means a lot,
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. So I got to pick on Rodger a little bit. His was so much of a love story. And so if you're his friend on Facebook, you're like, who wrote this for him?
Wow. Well, so you read Rodger. Facebook is Rodger, but
It's
those are
Raj,
two totally different people.
So did your wife know what you were writing, or when she read this, was this like a surprise to her?
It was a surprise. Well, she read it right before the book. I just let her see it, and I left the room, and she came in kind of teary-eyed and crying, and just really appreciative. But it was true.
Oh,
she literally was the turning point in my life.
Oh,
see, I just stopped right there. I didn't say anything else, Benita.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
No,
My
right?
glasses fogged up, Raj.
Well, you got to understand though. I won't spoil it, as Benita always says, that when I met my wife, I literally thought somebody just brought their kid to work. She's 4'11", so it was more of like, who are you and why are you here type of thing.
What's wrong with 4'11"?
Nothing's wrong with it. I got to know her, and it worked out great. It just was like, I'm like, who brought their kid to work? Like, no, that's a new employee. I'm like, really? I can barely see her head over the cubicle.
So Robert.
Yes.
One of the things that struck me about your contribution, your chapter, was you say risk-taking is a necessary part of any journey. Explain a little bit about that.
For me, I've always kind of played it safe in life and in work. And I think that when I stepped out into, the corporate, out of corporate into entrepreneurship, that was a risk. Getting married, another time, because I've been married, that was my third marriage, is a risk. And so a lot of the things that I talk about and writing this book was a risk, because there's some vulnerability on my part that, that I have to share, that, I'm sharing more of myself, and that's a risk, but it's necessary as we talk about moving forward.
Okay. So when I had to face, that I have to write something, and our publisher was a little aggressive, and he was twisting our arms with these.
I'm gonna bring him up later.
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully I hear this. Hey, boo. So I didn't know what I was gonna write. I really didn't, because having lived half a century plus, we've had several turning points, and so when I knew. So did others of you think about what turning point am I going to write about? Because I'm sure, we've all lived longer than 21 years. There have been some different things that have impacted our lives. Or am I the only one who's turned about 10 times?
I just went around in circles just a minute ago.
No, you're not alone. I've had I actually, it's on I have a notebook on my phone where I keep my turning points. And I've got 7 turning points where my life literally changed, went to a different direction. And I put in my acknowledgments. I can't fathom life having not had that moment before. But I talked about this moment because it allowed me to live a better version of my life, unlike the other ones. Other ones took me down different paths. This one allowed me to live a better version. So that's why I picked this moment and that for my turning point.
That's a great way to put it. I like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I one of the things that kind of did it for me, because as I mentioned, there's several things that would have been pivotal moments to turn. But I had 3 sisters, so it's just I was the only boy and 3 sisters. And when I lost my sister unexpectedly, I mean, like in a day, you know, and then getting sick and all these unexpected things were happening, that those are really turning points, because I had to ask God, what are you trying to tell me? What is this all about? What didn't I hear you, talk to me about?
Okay.
Mhm.
Tammy, what about you?
So for me, I mean, this was definitely the biggest turning point of my life. And I feel like I didn't have to question. I've had a lot after that, but I knew that when I quit my drinking, if I wouldn't have quit at that point in my life, I wouldn't be sitting here speaking to all of you. I in my heart feel like I only had about 3 weeks to a month to live if I wouldn't have quit.
Wow.
So for me, it was the biggest turning point of my life. And I can't wait to share other turning points in my life as time goes on. But this was definitely the major, that here I am, and here I am.
And, I think, and I really appreciate you for sharing. And I think it was so impactful to start the book off with you, with your story. But I'm going to ask the other folks, like, after you read Tammy's story, did you feel like, oh man, just throw the book away because our stories don't even add up?
Right. I'm like, I got this big fluffy stuff I'm putting in here.
Yeah.
Punch
I know,
mine
right?
up with the other stories from Columbus, Indiana, and all that stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, you're in love, and I'm writing about a dream that I had 12 years ago.
And I'm chasing love and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And then, then they put me behind Tammy. Okay.
I know.
All your stories, all the stories are incredible. All of them are incredible.
They are, and I agree with you, because I think from all of us, there's a lesson, and I think a common theme is certainly perseverance, and as Robert said, just not being afraid to take some risk. Faith sometimes is a risk because we don't see anything, is not tangible, but we do it and we expect this positive outcome.
Ashvin's kind of hit me because I'm my brother is a physician, my mom is a nurse, and so health has always been a big part of the family. It's never been this taboo thing ever. But as I got older, it just got lazy, I guess.
Yeah.
And like didn't go get checked out, not getting things I know I'm supposed to be getting. When the pandemic hit, it was like the perfect excuse. Good, I ain't got to go to see anybody.
Yeah, and
self-diagnose myself. I got WebMD and Google Analytics. I can get all these.
See,
and,
mute you.
And no, but actually, it was like you know what? I know other individuals. I forget the brother's name, from one of the news anchors here in Chicago recently went public with his prostate cancer that he had, and how that caught him off guard and blindsided him, and how there are no symptoms at all, for that. And so I was like, yeah, that was a quiet reminder. I need to get back into getting checked out regularly.
So, authors, we're going to take a quick break because we have another guest in our studio, and I would like to invite him on to talk about his phenomenal vodka. So, with us, we have Mr. Jermaine Colbert with Bombay Vodka. Hello, Jermaine. You on mute.
You're on mute, Jermaine.
Sorry. Yeah. Hey. How's everybody doing?
We're awesome. Good. How you doing?
Great.
Tell us about that good stuff you got down there.
Well, we have a lemonade infused vodka called Bombay Lemonade. It's we in about 7 states in almost 200 stores in Georgia alone.
Wow.
And we've been on shelves and in stores since 2015.
You know what's amazing? We've been connected via social media for a lot of years.
Really?
Yes, we have, because my sister went to medical school in Atlanta, and I have a very good friend, Jason Carey, and he introduced me to Bombay. I want to say it seems like longer than 2015, but maybe that was about the time.
No, we wasn't. I mean,
Okay.
We started in 2008. we've been on shelves and actual
Yes.
retail spaces
I
since
think when
2015.
he first talked about you, it was very early in your process. So I feel like I've known about the product for a lot of years. So congratulations
Thank you so
on the
much.
tremendous success. So how did
Thank
you
you.
get into the spirit business?
Just bombarded my way in, honestly. Back when I was dealing with Jason, we wasn't in stores. We wasn't nowhere near being in stores, but we was throwing parties. So
Yeah.
like we was making it ourselves, a version of it ourselves, and throwing parties and like featuring the drink at the parties. And through the
Oh,
parties is how I kind of developed a following.
yes. I love that story.
Mhm.
So you said you're in 7 states. What? Because we're from all over. We got some
Okay.
folks from Chicago. I'm in Virginia and DC.
Okay.
So what states are you in? Because we want people to buy it.
We're in DC, Maryland, Delaware, Tennessee, Georgia, Oklahoma, Texas, and Mississippi. 8
All
states.
right.
Wow.
So I'm gonna be hitting you up because we're doing wine crawl is something that several of us are involved in, and we're
Okay.
always looking for partners to be a part of wine crawl. And we have our first DC wine crawl coming up in about 7 weeks, so we definitely
Oh, yeah.
need you to be a part of it.
Okay, we in the area. Yeah, let's chop it up.
So what are you doing? Are you looking to add any other flavor combinations to your vodka brand?
Yeah, we have some stuff in R&D right now, but right
Okay.
now we just really want to focus on getting that lemonade out there. That's my baby. So we want to get that one up and running and on its own legs, and then we can kind of spin off from there. But we definitely have some stuff in development.
Well, we're happy that you're here. We want to give you some love. And if you need some tasters for R&D, Robert, and I are available.
All right, cool,
We got you. So, Jermaine,
Yes.
we appreciate you. So, I know you said around the Atlanta area or Georgia, you're in about 200 stores.
Yeah.
Name some of the big ones so we can get our folks over there because we got some people in Atlanta.
Total Wine.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Total Wine is one of them. Camp Creek World of Beverage. Greens is another one. We're pretty much in all the major locations. Specifically in Atlanta, we're there.
So I gotta ask, since we're talking about, we told our stories, our turning point, and so Bomay had a turning point. What were you doing before, you decided to say, hey, I'm gonna risk it all and I'm gonna get into this beverage game?
I was a hustler by nature.
Okay.
So
He rolled that out real slow.
Okay. Okay, we get it.
And
I feel you.
I needed something legal to hustle. So.
Okay. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Some
of the best businessmen.
Exactly, because that is definitely a business.
That's
man.
business school 101 right
yes,
there.
That's a business. So we definitely appreciate you again. I'm going to stay in touch. I'm probably going to be back in your IG Messenger tomorrow. And so we're going to be talking about how we can have Bomay as a part, because Wine Crawl is all over the country, looking to even take this across the pond to Europe. So we definitely want you to be a part of what you're doing, and we want to tell more people about you. So
Let's discuss.
We will.
Thank
you so much, Jermaine, and I'll be hearing from you soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a good one, everybody.
Have a good one.
So we got another guest in the studio, and hopefully he ain't mad at me because I told folks he twisted our arm. But he is the man behind the success of Faith, Failure, Success, volumes 1, 2, and 3, and soon to come number 4. So we want to bring on our friend, our brother, our publisher, Mr. Glenn Murray.
Okay, so now I'm your friend, brother, and publisher. Before I was a bully, an arm twister. I kicked puppies.
Rodger made me say that.
Hey, Glenn, guess what? She's the host. I'm producing the show, and poof, you're gone, Benita.
I know.
Guess what?
You know he'll throw you out of the show, Benita. You know how he does it.
So, Glenn.
Yes.
Thank you for having all of us to be a part of your vision. So the question I have to you is, you didn't think you were coming over here without getting a question.
I figured I was going to get a question, yes.
Okay. So what made you start this, the whole faith-based success theme in these volumes? And
so it actually, I guess the person probably not watching this, so I could tell the story. There was another book series that I was in, and we had a lot of people involved in, and it was going nowhere. It wasn't moving forward. So I said I still wanted to continue the series, but I really wanted to do it for a couple of reasons. Number one, I knew I had some great people in my circle that had amazing stories to tell. And number two, the people that aren't in my circle, they needed to hear these stories. So that was the main reason for continuing it. So we started the first volume was more about business, stories along the entrepreneurial journey. We launched a few first-time authors there, like Samantha Danielle, who had an amazing story, and some existing authors like Mel Roberson, Pierre Du Bois, myself. Then the second one, Surviving the Storm, which was the story from 5 women just telling their story of their life and how they overcame. And it was still a very popular book there. This one was a little bit different because this one, I did a little bit more of handpicking the stories. And handpicking the people. So I didn't really know. And as you guys know, I always told you, write your story. I don't care how many pages it was. I don't care if it was 5 pages or 500. I wanted you to tell the story you wanted people to hear. But it was important for me. I knew Ashvin's story. We've been knowing each other for like 15 years almost. Robert and I are on the show. Rodger, we've known. Tammy and I met probably about a year and a half ago. And she had sent me a portion of her story, and she was like, I want to write a book. And I'm like, I'm always big on, you tell me what you want to do, I'm going to figure out a way to help you do it. And Benita, yes, I twisted your arm and drafted you. That's true. I did. But I felt like in my heart, all of you had distinct stories to tell. And I really just kind of let you guys take creative control of the book and tell the story the way you wanted to do it. As you know, we didn't do a lot of editing. We didn't do a lot of cutting or anything else. We let you tell your raw story, your truth. And that was important to me. It's important because I feel like this whole series, there's somebody out there that needs to hear your story. Rodger, there's somebody who's given up on love and they needed to hear your story. Tammy, there's somebody out there struggling with demons that they need to release. Ashvin, there's so many people that have had cancer and needed to know how you've lived after cancer. All the countries you've been to, all the things you've done, all the adventures that you have. Robert, you needed to tell that story about your sister and just how you've lived after that. And Benita, you were going through something at the time that you wrote it. So I knew that. And I just knew that this was going to come together in a way that was going to be magic. This is the first of the series to go #1. So you guys are distinct. So give yourselves a pat on the back. And we've had some great, and all the books were great. So you can't call any of your children ugly. But
but we're your favorite. We understand.
I did not say that. I'm just saying.
You didn't have to. I'm gonna put it at the bottom.
I'm very proud of this group, and you guys have set the bar high for the final chapter, which is 4. That's going to be the last chapter.
I was going to ask, is that going to be the last?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 4 is going to be it. We're closing a chapter, not just on the series, but kind of on 220 Publishing in a way, because we're transitioning over a little bit. So this might be the last of a few books that we do. We still have a few books in us, but not as many because there's just so much other stuff going on, as you guys know. Wine Crawl, Live from the Cave, and there's just a lot going on that's pulling me away. But, we couldn't have done this without kudos to Stephanie Reynolds, who heads up 220 Publishing, and Justin, who I know was all over y'all about getting everything done. But he did a great job, Justin McMullen. Yes. So we got to shout him out too, because he was integral to this.
Trust the process.
Yes, trust
Yeah.
the process. He was definitely the process. He definitely stayed on you guys. So he's really responsible. He was as excited as you guys were when you went to number one. Let me just tell you.
Yeah.
So I am
I
very
think all of us was out there texting everybody we know. Hey, you ordered that book yet?
Right.
so
And
no, I
still
know.
doing it.
But I'm extremely proud. I'm proud to be your friends. I was proud to be your friends anyway, regardless of the book. But just the result of what we produced, what you produced, not even we, what you guys produced, has made me even more proud to call you all friends.
Thank you. So I just want to say I like that what you said, 5 pages or 500 pages. And so, this isn't a long read, but it doesn't take a whole lot to make an impact.
Right.
And so I do like the fact that you did take what we wrote and you didn't say, hey, I can't put out this 50-page book. You got to go back and write, because you recognize that it doesn't take, I've read 800 pages of insanity, right? So it doesn't take a whole lot to say what you want to say. So I really appreciate you just letting us do it our way.
Yeah, that's what the whole Faith, Failure, Success series is about. It's going to touch many people. All the books, all 4 books will touch people in ways that you never imagined. There will be people that read your book that you may never meet, that you may change their lives. So think about it that way. That's the impact that writing has. And that's the power of words on a page. And that's what really drove me to do this series.
Perfect. All right. So I want everybody to lift your glass, your water bottle, your tea, that Mad Dog Rodger, whatever you have.
I have water, believe it or not.
And we're going to toast to the success of this book and
Yes.
to the success of the entire Faith, Failure, Success series, and to the success of our next books. I put it in the universe.
Exactly. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers to everybody. Thank you, Jermaine, for your vodka. We got to go get some of your vodka too.
Oh, definitely. We got to get the vodka, and he has to become a part of our Winecroft family.
Yes, definitely.
So, all right, back to the authors. What's next for you, Ashvin? Because I already put it out there. You got to write another book.
As Glenn, I'm a big sports nut. So I've hit all major MLB stadiums, and I've started this year with 12 more NFL stadiums to go. I'm gonna knock them all out in the first 10 weeks. So tomorrow I fly to Kansas City. I go to Pittsburgh with Glenn Steelers on Sunday. Do the Bills on Monday.
wow.
Then I, next several weekends I'm hitting all the NFL stadiums.
I
And then I go to the World
that.
Cup in Qatar in November.
You know
Yes.
what? I think that those are things that you should do with somebody that appreciates sports. And I'm gonna let my wife know that I need to be here for my brothers and support them. And I'll be gone for about how long are we gonna be gone, Ashvin? 2 weeks.
On and off next 12 weeks. Enjoy me. Let's do this. My last trip's in Vegas for the Raiders game, so we'll on a high note.
I may surprise you on that one. Then
Let me know when you're in Vegas, because me and Kevin are coming to Vegas soon. So,
How about you, Tammy?
November 11th.
Tammy, you need to be on the speaking circuit.
That is one of my goals for sure, is I definitely want to be on stages speaking. Right now, I have my podcast, Hope, helping other people evolve. So I work on that weekly and get people out there just to share stories of struggles to strength. And I do have my whole book written. I'm still editing it. And so, yeah, I can't wait to get that out there for the world. And so I'm just continuing to be the light in the world. That's all I want to be every day, is just a light in this world.
I'm so excited for your new book. Can't wait to read it.
Thank you.
Rodger, what's next for you? Another beautiful ode to your 4'11" bride.
Well, now that COVID's died down, the production company, we're kind of ramping up some other productions in-house. I do have a huge meeting, which I actually can share. It's just a meeting. Glenn and I actually always talk about people posting opportunities and not results, but this is actually kind of both at the same time. I have a meeting with Disney next week. They requested a meeting, so I'm really, really excited for that. We'll be able to pitch some things to them.
I like that.
That's amazing. That's great.
And Robert, this is your third book, you said? Your third contribution?
Third
Yeah.
bestseller, he said.
Third bestseller.
Third
Yeah,
bestseller.
yeah.
What's next?
How do I follow behind Disney? I mean,
You're Robert. Come on, you're Robert Hazzard.
well, that's
Yes.
true. That's true. I have my podcast. I've only recorded a couple episodes under It's the Way I See It. And so I need to do that. I really need to push and talk to people and hear their stories, as well as, Benita, I have this thing about chasing happiness, because I believe that we all have, some form of happiness in us or around us. And that comes through smiles, it comes through personalities, laughter. And I really want to create a book that talks about that. And I want it to encompass various people's stories around the world, not just in Chicago, but I want to take it on interviewing people around the world to make that happen. So that is what's in store for me.
Perfect.
So what's next for you, Benita? That's the question.
So I do a lot of things. So what I'm trying to do is marry some of the things that I do. So
Oh, I thought she was about to say marry somebody.
Right? That's what I thought. I was about to put her on
Have we
full
met?
solo
I'm about to
series.
take a drink, Benita.
Have we met? No. No, marry Wine Crawl plus Books and Bottles. Wine Crawl plus exclusive Blacklist. So because there's so many different things that I do, and I just, want more people to be a part of this universe. It's a lifestyle, it's fun, it's healing, it's learning, it's something for everybody. And so I just want to bring all these things together and just continue to spread all this love in the DMV and Richmond. So, and until y'all invite me out west. So that's what I'm doing. So I really appreciate everybody for being here. And because we are in this unique club of being a part of this book, we need to be each other's accountability partners. So we're going to be hitting each other up and say, Tammy, you're going to be back on the show. I'm going to put you on the schedule when you're coming back. We're going to hold each other accountable and be there for each other. I love you all. I appreciate being a part of this journey with you. And thank you so much for coming on Books and Bottles.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So where you can get the book. This book can be purchased on Amazon. We want you to go. If you haven't purchased it yet, we want you to do it right now. Okay? Go right now and get the book. And you can get the other volumes, one and two, are also on Amazon. So pick those up while you're on there. If you're an author and you like to be on the show, please hit us up at info@groseprod.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. And until next week, cheers.
Camped out at home for COVID? Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.